Honsberger Physiotherapy came out of my work with Dr. Ron Taylor of the Blue Jays down at Mount Sinai. And then we went up and re-evaluated and started up the Olympic High Performance Center after 1988. Honsberger Physiotherapy came out of an understanding that we could enhance performance. So we took injured athletes, made them better, protected their performance, and actually improved their performance. And we linked that back to biomechanical balance, so we created a strategy that we could sort of predict whether athletes were underperforming and then help them improve their performance. Once we realized that vision was a trainable aspect or a tool for an athlete, we became very involved. So again, linking back to our philosophy, we could be predictive of your performance. So we began to realize that your visual skills were a very strong predictor of your outcome. If you're trying to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and you can't see it, we realized it wasn't that you weren't a good hitter, you just couldn't see the ball. As we got into this vision side of sports performance and athletic evaluation, we knew we had to go out and find the best of the best technologies that were out there, and that sort of led us down the road to NeuroTracker.
So honestly, I use NeuroTracker from a sports performance perspective. So a lot of clients trying to improve their sports performance, eye-hand coordination, that type of thing. And then also one of the things we've been doing a little more recently is working with the senior population, trying to help the neurocognitive side and help sort of that aging decline that can happen as well too. So I find the NeuroTracker is helpful for a variety of things. Probably the biggest that I see is more from a concentration perspective, but also I find that when they're having challenges with their visual system, so how quickly they can track objects, how quickly they can maintain that concentration. And then there's the other side on the sports performance. I can push them as hard as they want to or need to do and push them at another level, because now I'm not worried about the symptoms per se, it's more about their performance. So it really comes down to the type of clients I'm working with and whether I want to manage their symptoms to keep it sort of low key or to ramp them up and to push to see the max that they can handle as well.
So I developed a baseline test basically for an athlete. So when they come in, I want to know how well they can, how well they work cognitively. So I run them through a bunch of different cognitive systems. NeuroTracker is one of the systems we use. So I run them on a core 3, and I basically just go through the whole thing. I get that threshold baseline, and that score I'll take into consideration when I'm creating the athlete's program. If they score something low, so let's say like a 1 on that threshold, then I'll definitely incorporate NeuroTracker multiple times during a session. And if they score high, I'm still doing NeuroTracker because it's that important. Because of the speed of how fast those the yellow balls are moving on the screen, it's really important for those athletes to continue that training, because no one's perfect, and having that training every single session is vital to an athlete's performance, because they're coming in before and after their sports games, practices, and everything. So they want to consistently be pushed while they're training. Well, we've got a plethora of cognitive training systems to help build better athletes. And NeuroTracker is one of those components, and it's one of the strongest components because of the multitasking ability and the way that the game challenges you. I can change one setting and it's going to throw you off kilter. So I like the fact that I can just change one thing and it challenges an athlete in the way they haven't been challenged yet. And to me, that's how I build a better athlete, is by challenging them, because you got to build building blocks, and those blocks are only going to get built by consistent challenging.
I think it just provides a kind of a one-stop shop. We've used other pieces of technology, and I've seen and researched all this sorts of other stuff out there in the vision training, cognitive performance world, but NeuroTracker seems to kind of encompass a lot of it into one nice polished product. Helps work on their visual tracking and how well their eyes can move and see accurately, but then also how their brain can function and multitask. So it's really, really helpful. I love it working with such a great group. We all see it differently. We all use it in a little bit different way. And it helps us, if I go, I'm really struggling with this hockey player to get him over the hump in a certain way, I can talk to anybody and they all more than willingly collaborate with me, and they can share their ideas on what they've used to help their clients. So I really enjoy collaborating with them because everyone's got these cool ideas, and that's kind of the beauty of NeuroTracker is it's one thing, but you can make it so unique and customizable at the same time. NeuroTracker helps me understand their cognitive function at the most basic level. If you can't do NeuroTracker, then we've got some work to do. So I start them right at day one and kind of throw them into the fire, see what they can handle, see what they can't. From an athletic performance standpoint, cognitive function is the key.